This is a training video on using the dry mix shotcrete machine AC-1. The dry mix shotcrete machine AC-1 is designed to mechanically apply shotcrete masses to different surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, metal, as well as to perform sandblasting operations in small volumes. It is prohibited to use the machine for other purposes. Machine design. The machine consists of a frame, to which the machine drive is attached from below that includes a worm gearbox, a mechanical variator, and an electric motor. A shaft comes out of the gearbox, on which a dosing drum is attached from above. The dosing head is pivotally attached to the frame using levers and the sidewall, on which the sealing plate, loading hopper with a vibrator equipped with a sieve, blower, and exhaust elbow fitting are attached. To move the machine, pneumatic wheels and the handle are attached to the frame. An air distributor is attached to the handle, to which a supply line with a supply line crane and a quick release joint fits. The main line with the main line crane, the main line pressure gauge, and the quick release joint exit from the air distributor. The main line of the pneumatic vibrator with a crane, which also performs the function of blowing the machine, and the pressure relief line. Lubrication lines are fixed on the machine hopper to lubricate the sealing plate. Also, an electric control cabinet is installed on the handle, which has a 380V electrical connection, a reverse switch, and an automatic switch. Let's check the nozzle design. The nozzle consists of a nozzle holder with sealing rings, ball valve, water adjustment valve, core, nozzle tip, and fixing cone. Additional equipment is required for the machine to operate. The compressor has a capacity of 5 cubic meters per minute and a pressure of 5 atmospheres. The air shall be free of moisture and oil. It is strongly prohibited for moisture or oil to enter the machine with air. This can lead to the mix sticking in the drum, blower, hoses, and failure of the machine, as well as negatively affect the quality of the shotcrete. Power supply of 380V, 50 Hz. Air hose with a cross-section of at least 32 mm. Water source with a pressure of at least 2 atmospheres. Water hose with a cross-section of 18 mm. Latal 24. Setting up procedures. Trial start. Before operation, it is necessary to study the AC-1 operation manual. It is prohibited to operate the shotcrete machine without studying the operation manual. Place the machine on a horizontal platform, eliminating the possibility of spontaneous rolling and grounding the machine. Check the level of lubrication of the variator and gearbox via the control windows. Connect the air hose from the compressed air source to the air distributor using a quick release joint and fix it with spring cotters. Connect the 380V, 50 Hz power supply to the electrical connector. Open the main line, disconnect the vibrator, and release tie bolts. Two people are needed to open the hopper with a dosing head and a plate. Take the folding levers from both sides of the machine and the vibrator, lift the hopper up, and pull the levers back. Inspect the sealing plate and the dosing drum. The plate shall be clean and smooth with no scratches and scoring. If there are scratches on the plate with a depth of more than 1 mm, then it is necessary to grind the plate. Also, check the dosing drum. It shall be clean and smooth with no scratches and chips. If there are scratches of more than 1 mm, the drum shall be ground. Check the direction of rotation of the drum. It shall correspond to the arrow that is located on the dosing head, i.e., counterclockwise. To do this, there is a reverse switch located on the electric control panel. Check the number of required rotations of the dosing drum. On the 30-second sleeve, the maximum number of rotations of the drum is 7 rotations per minute. On the 40-second sleeve, the maximum number of rotations of the drum is 10 rotations per minute. The performance of the machine is regulated by a handle on the variator. The adjustment takes place only when the machine motor is switched on. It is strongly prohibited to rotate the variator control wheel when the motor is switched off. It is necessary to use a stopwatch for accurate adjustment. Check the output of grease from the holes of the plate using a lubricating syringe via 2 grease pumps. If the grease does not come out of the holes on the plate, then it is necessary to clean the lubrication holes. After inspecting the plate with the drum, checking the rotations of the drum, before the reverse installation, it is necessary to lubricate the sealing plate. Manually apply a thin layer of Lithol 24 or solidol grease to the surface of the plate. The lubricant shall be clean. 2 people on both sides of the machine use folding levers to lower the hopper with the dosing head and the plate onto the drum. The sealing plate shall fit evenly on the surface of the drum. The swinging method of fitting the dosing head ensures a uniform fit of the sealing plate to the drum. Insert the tie bolts into the slots of the folding levers and tighten the cap nuts of the folding bolts to the stop by hand. Before operation, it is necessary to check the correctness and reliability of joints of all hoses and the presence of spring cotters. Start the machine in the idle mode without a mix. Supply air to the machine from the source, open the supply line crane a little, insert the air pressure adjustment crane of the main line, and then press on the automatic switch. It is very important that the compressed air is first fed into the mix supply system and only then the electric motor switches on. As soon as the machine started operation, check the direction of rotation of the drum. It shall correspond to the arrow that is located on the dosing head, i.e., counterclockwise. Starting the machine without a mix is necessary for the machine to idle for 10 to 15 minutes for the plate to adapt to the drum. When the machine is operating, tighten the nuts of tie bolts again to the stop by hand. And then tighten the cap nut for 3-4 turns with the Tommy bar key that comes with the machine. The tightening of tie bolts shall be carried out when the machine is switched on. After adjusting the pressure of the plate, switch off the machine by switching off the electric motor, and then shut off the air supply. Connect a water hose with a diameter of 18 mm from the water source to the nozzle. Supply compressed air and water from the sources, fully open the crane of the supply line and smoothly open the half-adjusting crane of the main line. The recommended pressure on the pressure gauge without a mix is 0.8 atmospheres. Open the ball valve and the water adjustment valve on the nozzle for the water and air to go out of the nozzle. Try to adjust the volume of water on the nozzle. Set the position of the crane a little less than half, so that not a significant volume of water comes from the nozzle. The machine is started by an automatic switch. It is very important that the compressed air is first fed into the mix supply system and only then the electric motor switches on. It is prohibited to switch on the electric motor without supplying compressed air, as this may lead to the failure of the sealing plate. Next, fill the shotcrete mass into the hopper, set the pressure on the pressure gauge with the crane of main line. The air pressure on the pressure gauge is adjusted according to the need and the distance of transportation so that the flow of the mix in the material hose is smooth and uniform. The approximate pressure on the pressure gauge is 1.8 atmospheres. If necessary, switch on the vibrator on the hopper for better spilling of the mixture. After loading the mix into the hopper and starting the machine, the final tightening of the plate is performed to ensure the tightness between the dosing drum and the sealing plate. There shall be no dusting between the plate and the drum. Dusting of the shotcrete mix between the plate and the drum leads to premature wear of the plate and the drum. If dusting has occurred, it indicates insufficient tightening. It is necessary to switch off the machine, free it from the mix, disassemble and clean it. Inspect the drum and the plate. After the inspection, put the machine back together and start it again. After starting the machine and feeding the mix, the nozzleman adjusts the water content and the mix according to the visual assessment by the water supply adjustment crane. When dusting, the water flow shall be increased until the dusting stops. When the mix comes off or drains, reduce the water consumption. The nozzle shall be kept perpendicular to the shotcrete surface at a distance of 0.7 to 1 meter. It is necessary to shotcrete with horizontal strips sequentially from the bottom up, evenly moving the nozzle in a spiral. During operation, the nozzleman shall rotate the core of the nozzle holder by 90 degrees relative to the axis on the nozzle every 5 to 10 minutes. This will ensure uniform wear of the core and extend its service life. During operation, it is also necessary to lubricate the machine every 10 to 15 minutes via 2 grease pumps located on the hopper with a lubricant syringe by gently pressing it 4 to 5 times, which will allow the machine to operate in normal mode and reduce the load on the drive of the machine. Periodically, during operation, the operator shall check and tighten the tie nuts of the machine to prevent dusting and air breakouts. Light gushing of air within the bunker is allowed. During operation, the operator and the nozzleman shall be within sight to signal each other. For example, switch off or switch on the machine. If direct visibility is impossible, then it is necessary to use portable radio sets for communication. Stopping the machine stops in the opposite sequence from the start. To stop the machine, switch off the electric motor with an automatic switch. After stopping the engine, it is necessary to wait 1 minute for the remaining mix is blown out from the hoses. At this time, the nozzleman closes the water supply with a crane on the nozzle. After purging the hoses with a crane of supply line, the supply of compressed air is blocked. Maintenance of the machine is carried out after the end of the shift. First, blow out the machine. Then it is necessary to open the hopper with the dosing head for a thorough blowing of the dosing drum, sealing plate, blower, exhaust elbow fitting. Then, using a rag, carefully wipe the surface of the plate and drum from the remnants of grease and mix. Inspect the sealing plate. The surface of the plate shall be clean and smooth. There shall be no workings, scratches, scoring. If there are scratches of more than 1 mm, it is necessary to perform grinding. Inspect the dosing drum. The surface of the drum shall be clean and smooth. There shall be no workings, scratches, scoring, chips. If there are scratches of more than 1 mm, the drum shall be ground. Before reassembling the machine, lubricate the surface of the plate with a thin layer of Latal 24 or Solido. The machine is assembled in the reverse order of disassembly. Tie bolts remain loosely tightened. The plate is tightened only before the next operation. It is also necessary to clean the nozzle after the end of the shift. To do this, remove the fixing cone, remove the core from the nozzle holder housing. Clean the core and the nozzle holder housing from the shotcrete mix. Pay special attention to the holes of the water ring on the core and the nozzle holder. They shall be clean and free from shotcrete mix. Inspect the sealing rings. After cleaning, lubricate everything with grease and put it back together. Sealing plate replacement. Disconnect the main line hose and the vibrator hose. Tools to replace the sealing plate: cap keys 8, 14, and 17 and the hex key 6. Release the fastening of upper fittings of lubrication lines on the hopper and unscrew the lines from the side of the dosing head. Release and fold back tie bolts. Fold back the dosing head with a hopper. Take the hex key number 6 and unscrew the 4 screws. Carefully remove the sealing plate from the guide pins. There is a sealing ring under the sealing plate on the dosing head in the groove. When removing the plate, be careful that the sealing ring is not lost. Unscrew the lower lubricating fittings from the plate and install them on a new plate. The sealing plate is installed in the reverse order of disassembly. Remove the shotcrete mix from the dosing head, inspect the sealing ring. It shall be without damage. Install it back into the groove of the dosing head. Wipe the base of the new sealing plate and install it in accordance with the holes on the plate and the holes on the dosing head. The plate shall be tightly pressed against the head. Install 4 screws with washers and tighten them to the stop. Replacing the dosing drum, disconnect the main line hose and the vibrator hose. Release and fold back tie bolts. Fold back the dosing head with the loading hopper, and open the dosing drum. To replace the dosing drum, one needs a cap key 30. Using a cap key 30, unscrew the drum mounting nut, remove the grover, washer, and remove the dosing drum from the shaft. The dosing drum is installed in the reverse order of disassembly. Clean the drum seat and clean the machine shaft from the shotcrete mix and dust. Put the drum on the shaft. Put the washer, grover, and tighten the nut to the stop. After tightening the nut, there shall be no backlash of the drum.